Very good afternoon, dear students. So here we are starting with one more lecture. Already we have been together for first few lectures, and in that we have seen some of the measures of central tendency. So we know that there are five measures of central tendency: arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean, median, and mode. Now already we have studied in detail the arithmetic mean as well as geometric mean. Now let us concentrate for some another one, harmonic mean. Okay. So what is the concept? Let us try to understand the concept behind the same, because we are going to apply arithmetic mean only when, after sorting those observations, if the observations are more or less in arithmetic mean, then we can understand that arithmetic mean is going to be superior as compared to the remaining. Similarly, if after sorting the observations, those are more or less in geometric mean, then geometric mean is going to be a better option as compared to the remaining four. And on the similar lines, we will be preferring harmonic mean only when, after sorting the observations, those observations are more or less in harmonic progression. Okay. So what is meant by harmonic progression? If you remember, or I do not know whether you already studied. I know that you have studied arithmetic progression, geometric progression, but I am really doubtful whether you have studied harmonic progression or not. Uh, Let me tell you that a sequence is said to be in harmonic progression if the reciprocals are in arithmetic progression. So that is the part. So how we can find out harmonic mean for a given data set? So whatever the observations have been given to us, we have to take their reciprocals. Then we have to obtain the arithmetic mean of the reciprocals. And after that, we have to take reciprocal of that, and that will be called as harmonic mean. Thus, the harmonic mean is nothing but the reciprocal of the arithmetic mean of the reciprocals of the observations in the given data. It is based on all the observations and yes, easily defined. There is proper formula for the same. Harmonic mean gives less weightage to the larger values and large weightage to small values to balance the values correctly. You can understand we are taking and considering the reciprocal. So if a value is maximum, then its reciprocal will be minimum and vice versa. So this happens. So in general, the harmonic mean is used when there is a necessity to give greater weightage to the smaller atoms. It is applied in the case of times and average rates. Definitely, during every measure of central tendency, we are trying to understand the situations wherein these are going to be applicable. So I am going to consider a very smart example wherein you will really be convinced that yes, this is the situation wherein only harmonic mean is going to be applied and no any other thing. Okay. So just Hello. So the harmonic mean is often used to calculate the average of the ratios or rates. It is the most appropriate measure for ratios and rates because it equalizes the weights of each data point. Okay. So formulae for harmonic mean. Let us try to obtain the formulae in case of raw data first. So if you generate the formulae, then there is no necessity to remember the same. Raw data means we have observations x1, x2, and xn. Okay. So we have to take reciprocals of this. Reciprocals will be 1 upon x1, 1 upon x2, and 1 upon xn. Then we have to take arithmetic mean of the reciprocals to try to understand. So the arithmetic mean is obtained by adding and then subtracting. So the reciprocals have been added together. These are n reciprocals. So we have to divide by n. And this will be nothing but we have to take reciprocal of this, and that will be called as harmonic mean, means 1 upon harmonic mean. So I hope you are able to understand, and therefore we can say that harmonic mean is equal to n upon summation of 1 upon x, ironing from 1 to n. This is the formula in case of raw data. Now we are going to see the formula in case of grouped data also. See here, grouped data means frequency distribution. So in this we know that we have xi, observation xi is occurring a finite number of times, and as such there are k number of classes. I is equal to 1 to until k. Okay. So in this also see, xi is an observation appearing a finite number of times. So reciprocal of xi will be 1 upon xi, that is appearing a finite number of times as such. And you can understand that 1 upon xi is appearing a finite number of times. And we have to take summation from I from 1 to k and divide by, these are summation fi means capital N number of observations, and if you are taking reciprocal of this, then that will be harmonic mean. And thus in case of group data, the formula of harmonic mean is equal to capital N, that is sum of all the frequencies divided by summation 1 upon xi times fi, and I running from 1 to k. Okay. Now let us move further, and here let us try to see relationship among arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean for two numbers. Okay. So for more than two numbers is very difficult, but we can talk about two numbers now. Suppose A and B are the two numbers. Okay, so arithmetic mean is equal to A plus B by 2. Then geometric mean is equal to, we know where to take the product, and the second root means square root is geometric mean. And in case of harmonic mean, so okay, let us see. So it will be n means 2 upon, so you can see, you can refer this previous, n small n upon summation 1 upon xi from 1 to n, and as such it will be 1 upon a plus 1 upon b. Okay, and that is nothing but this is equal to, so 2 into a into b and divided by b plus a. I can write it as a plus b. Okay. Now I am taking product of arithmetic mean and harmonic mean. Let us see what happens. So this is equal to a plus b divided by 2 into 2 into a into b upon a plus b. So we understand that here arithmetic mean into harmonic mean, this is nothing but a plus b cancels, 2 also cancels a into b. And we can say that arithmetic mean into harmonic mean is equal to square of the geometric mean. And therefore we can say that this geometric mean is equal to square root of arithmetic mean into harmonic mean. So this is the relation. I am claiming this about only when there are two number of observations, and so we can say that geometric mean is nothing but the geometric mean of arithmetic mean and harmonic mean when we are considering only two observations in the data. And definitely you will agree that being average, that is going to be geometric mean will be in between arithmetic mean and harmonic mean. Already we have proved last time that for any data arithmetic mean is greater than equal to geometric mean, and geometric mean is in between, so geometric mean has to be greater than or equal to harmonic mean. So relation in general, so this relation is going to hold when there can be any number of observations, 2, 3 or even infinite number of observations. In that case arithmetic mean of a particular data will be always greater than equal to the geometric mean, and the geometric mean will be greater than equal to the harmonic mean. This is always going to remain. So this is very important statement I have been making here. So this is inequality. Arithmetic mean is greater than equal to geometric mean, and geometric mean is greater than equal to harmonic mean. So can you tell me wherein some particular example you can example wherein there will be, for a given data, all the three measures will be exactly the same. Yes? Anyone from here? Can you identify some data such that for that data Arithmetic mean will be same as geometric mean, will be same as harmonic mean. All the three will be the same. We can tell so many. Suppose there are 5 observations. That data, all the observations are equal to 10, 10, 10, 10. So here, suppose data is 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. So in this case, in this raw data, n is equal to 5 observations are there. If you find arithmetic mean, so addition 10 plus 10 plus 10, you can understand, and divided by 5, that will be equal to 10. Then geometric mean, so what you have to do, you have to take the product 10 to the power 5 and take fifth root, and that will be equal to 10. And in case of harmonic mean, again it will be 5, then 1 upon 10 plus 1 upon 10 and so on 5 times. You can understand that this will be equal to s. So again I am saying this is 5, 10, 5, so 5 cancels and the answer is equal to 10. So this is really ideal situation that whatever the number of observations, if every observation has exactly the same value, then all the measures of central tendency, including median and mode also further, will going to have the same values. So here, as I had utilized, I will like to erase the same and see. Let us try to understand this problem. So So just I want to say that I will like to have a pause of so 2 to 3 minutes, and there is some problem. Please stay connected. Hello. Sorry, there was some problem. Now I'm reading the problem. A cyclist travels from location A to location B at the speed of 10 km per hour. He returns to location A from location B with the same route at the speed of 15 km per hour. Find the average speed of the cyclist during the entire journey. So this is a very simple problem. Believe me, this is very much probable to be asked during your placement review test. So what do you think? What is the average speed? This is location A. This is location B. Same distance. So he goes at the speed 10 km per hour and comes back at the speed 15 km per hour. What is the average speed? Is it 12.5? Yes or no? $12.5 or something different? Please give your thoughts. Anyone? $12.5. Okay. Now let us see. I want to say that distance is the same. Okay. So the person is traveling one side at the speed 10 km per hour and coming back at the speed 15 km per hour. In the process, while going from A to B at the speed 10 km per hour, certain time duration will be required. If he increases his speed, then the time required will be less. If he decreases the speed, the time required will be more. Thus, the speed and time required, these are inversely related to each other. So this is the matter, and hence the arithmetic mean is not going to work at all. Okay. So here we have to take their harmonic mean. So here n equal to 2. The two observations are x1 is equal to 10 and x2 is equal to 15. Harmonic mean will be equal to n upon 1 upon x1 plus 1 upon x2, 1 upon 10 plus 1 upon 15. Yes, I am going to explain you why. So 2, and here in the denominator the LCM will be 30. So this is 3 plus 2. So this is equal to 30 into 2 divided by 5, and that is equal to 12 km per hour. So it is really interesting. It is not 12.5. So let me tell you that there are 5 measures of central tendency, and in a particular situation only one is going to be superior and the most appropriate. Remaining 4 are going to be useless. Now for a while, to understand this problem in a better way, suppose the distance is 300 kilometers. 300 kilometers. Okay. So when from A to B, distance traveled is 300 kilometers at the speed 10 km per hour. So 30. Okay. So you can consider 30 kilometers also, no problem. That's we must have something multiple of 10 and 15. So okay, 30 no problem. So 30 hours will be required. Okay, 30 hours. Then exactly the same distance, 30 km per hour at 15 km per hour. So 20 hours are required. 20 hours are required. Therefore, average speed is equal to 300 plus 300 divided by time required. Time required is 30 plus 20. So this is 600 divided by 50, or you can say 1200 divided by 100, and that is equal to 12. So you will agree now. This is the case. So in such a problem, only harmonic mean is going to help us, not any other. Okay. So now let us move further. Median. The next measure of central tendency is median. median is the only positional average. Yes, that value of median is determined on the basis of position only, and the value of the middlemost observation obtained after arranging the data in either ascending or descending order is called as median of the data. So I am going to discuss here what will be the formula of median in case of ungrouped data, and before that it is we can regard median as also that value below and above which there are equal number of observations. So here ungrouped data, again there are going to be different two cases, but before that we know ungrouped data means this is x1, x2 and until xn. These are in observation. First, arrange the data chronologically. Means we have to start in either ascending or descending order. Either ascending or descending order. It really doesn't matter. And again, there are two cases. Situation one is if n is an odd number, in that case, median is equal to, now you have to tell me if there are 5 observations, so the third will be the middlemost. If there are 99 observations, then I think which one will be the middlemost? 99 observations. So 49 at left hand side, 49 at right hand side, and in between. So it will be 50 from either left hand side or right hand side. As such, in general, this will be n plus 1 by 2 observation. If n is an even number, now suppose there are 10 observations, we have sorted those, and after that, which is the middlemost observation? So absolutely, uh, fifth will not be the middlemost, because before fifth there are 4 observations, and after fifth there are 5 observations, and also so there are some phone calls in between. If uh, we consider sixth observation, before 6 there are 5 observations, and after 6 there are 4 observations, so that will not be. But we can say that even though there is no middlemost observation as such, we can consider 2 observations at the middlemost, and here if there are 10 observations, then fifth and sixth are the 2 middlemost. So in general, arithmetic mean of n by 2th and n by 2 plus 1 observations. So this is going to be the formula. So let us try to discuss now what is the median for the following data sets. So quickly, so let us try to solve. So observations in ascending order. So which one is the middlemost? I think 23 is the least. After 23, 34, then 43. After that 54, 54, then 56, 67, and then 78. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 7 observations. Here n is equal to 7, and therefore median will be equal to n plus 1 by 2th observation is equal to 4th observation. 4th observation, and this is equal to 54. 54 is the median of this data. So how many observations are smaller than 54? So I'm just going to mark here smaller than here. This 23 is smaller than 43 and 34. These are smaller. Which are larger than 54? 56 is there, 67 is there, and 78. So there are equal number of observations below and above the median value. So this is another way to understand. Now another example here. What is the median for the following data? Here again, let us try to solve. So observations in ascending order. You can write in descending also. Absolutely, it really doesn't matter. So the least observation is 24, after 24, 34, then 43, after that 50, then 67, and then 78. Here n is equal to 6 and even number. So there is no middle number as such. Therefore, median is equal to arithmetic mean of n by 2 and n by 2 plus 1 observations. So this is equal to now third observation. Third observation is 43 and fourth observation is 50 divided by 3, and this will be equal to divided by 2 divided by 2. So it will be 46.5. How? I have not done it. What I didn't see. 43 and in 50 also, 50 is 43 plus 7. Okay. So 43, I have written 43 plus 7 by 2. 43 plus 7 by 2, that is 46.5. So that is my logic. So this is the median for this data. How many observations are smaller than this? So let us try to collect all these observations and let us see here. 1, 2, 3. 3 observations are smaller than this median, and larger than this is going to be first, second, and this one. So there are equal number of observations, larger and smaller than this value. Okay. Now find the median for the following data. This is another type of data. You can understand that this is secondary data or group data or frequency distribution. So class intervals and corresponding frequencies. 0 to 10 to 10 to 20, 12, 20 to 30, 22, 30 to 48, and 40 to 56. So we have this. Now I am going to introduce very lovely a concept, 2 more concepts, and those are nothing but less than cumulative frequency and more than cumulative frequency. And directly, I have not explained the formula, but I am going to discuss this problem and simultaneously the procedure as well as the formula in case of group data. So here classes and frequencies is there. Now I am going to introduce one more concept, and that is called as less than cumulative frequency, capital Fi. Now it is found from top to bottom. The first less than cumulative frequency is same as the simple frequency, that is 2. But every next less than cumulative frequency is equal to previous less than cumulative frequency plus current simple frequency. So 2 plus 12 is equal to 14. After that 14 plus 22. So please help me. This will be I think 36. Then 36 plus 8 will be 44. 44 plus 66 will be is equal to 50. How many observations are there in this data? So we have to add all the frequencies, and that is nothing but capital N. Capital N is going to be exactly equal to 50. So N is equal to 50. What is the meaning of this less than cumulative frequency? Let us try to understand. Class interval 0 to 10 less than frequency 2, 10 to 20 14, 20 to 30 36, 30 to 40 44, 40 to 50 50. And let me tell you that listen carefully. Out of 50 observations, there are 2 observations whose value is less than or equal to 10, 14 observations whose value is less than or equal to 20, 36 observations which value is less than or equal to 30, 44 observations whose value is less than or equal to 40, and all the 50 observations have value less than or equal to 50. So in this sense, we have realized that the less than cumulative frequency is very much related with the upper limit of every class interval. Okay, so this is what I want to say. Further, you can see, and yes, after solving this by formula, I am going to explain through our graphical method also, and in that also many things will be getting clear. Here you can see 2, 14, 36 like that. Okay, so here the first thing is as n is equal to 50. Therefore, n by 2 is equal to 25. The first thing is we have to identify the class interval wherein 25th observation lies. So interestingly, again, let us go to the less than cumulative frequency column. First class interval less than cumulative frequency is 2. That means first and second observation lie in the class interval 0 to 10. Then listen carefully. 10 to 20 less than cumulative frequency 14. That means observation number 3, 4 until 14. These 12 observations are in the class interval 10 to 20. Then 15, 16 until 36. These are 22 observations which are lying in the class interval 20 to 30. From 37 to 44, that is 8 observations are in the class interval 30 to 40. And finally from 45th to 50, these 6 observations lie in the class interval 40 to 50. Okay. Now we have to identify the class interval wherein 25th observation lie. So let us go back to the last column, less than cumulative frequency. First is 2, 14, then 36. See, 14 means until 0 to 20, there are 14 observations. And from 15 to 36 observation lie in the class interval 20 to 30. So we want 25th observation. And therefore, we can say that this median class is equal to 20 to 30. And after that, let us try to use this formula. Median is equal to, and again it is very much logical, L plus capital N by 2 minus cumulative frequency of K, capital F of K minus 1 upon frequency small f K into H. So this is the formula. Let us try to understand why this only and why not something different than this. So in the process, see, there are 50 observations. Median is the positional observation, positional measure of central tendency. That's why we want to identify that value which is going to be 25th observation. So you can understand here from 0 to 10, already 2 observations are there. From 10 to 20, there are 12 observations, and 20 to 30, there are 22 observations like that. So there is 40 also and 50 also, further 8 and 6. Now we want the value of the 25th observations. Already when we cross by 20, we have covered 14 observations. So here this is equal to, when we are coming to 20, we have already covered 14 observations. And after that, in the next class interval, that is 20 to 30, we assume that these 22 observations are equispaced. So what is the length of each? So that is h. H means 30 minus 20, that is 10 divided by frequency of the median class, that is 22. So 10 divided by 22 is the distance between two observations. And already we have covered 14 observations. We have to further move for 25 minus 14. And in this way, this formula is coming. So capital L is nothing but the lower limit of the median class, 20. Then capital N by 2, 25. Capital F of K minus 1 means less than cumulative frequency of the pre-median class. So kth class is the median class, previous is K minus 1, that is 14, divided by small f of K, that is simple frequency of the median class, that is 22, and multiplied by width 10. 10 is the width of the median class. As such, so I think you will need to, I do not have calculator, but see if I am taking help of that my mobile calculator, then it will be a 25 minus 14, it is something. So I think it is even calculator is not required. If you go 25 minus 14 is 11 by 20, so 1 by 2, 5. So 25 is going to be the median, 25. So it is really excellent problem. This is how we have found the value of the median by an explicit formula. Actually, that can be found by graphical method also. So let us try to see by how to find the same by graphical method. So I will have to erase this for the same, and yes, of course, I have kept one more page for the same, but we have to go in between this. I have to plot a special curve that is called as less than Uju curve. So already I have discussed that for plotting that, generally frequencies are taken on y-axis, we know, and observations means are taken mid values or something like that. Those are considered along the x-axis. So here also, as less than cumulative frequency is going to be plotted, considered, and that is to be along y or vertical axis. And definitely, I have explained just now that less than cumulative frequencies are very much related with the upper limit, not the mid value of the class interval. Those are related with upper limits. So that is the reason why on x-axis we'll be having upper limit, and on y-axis we'll be having less than cumulative frequency. So before that, let me go with this 0, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And less than cumulative. So this is upper limit. Less than cumulative frequency, that is capital Fi along the y-axis. And here 10 to 20, 14. And maximum is 50. So you can understand here. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. 10 to 20, 14. 10 to 20, 14. 30, 36, 30, 36, 40, 44, 50, 50. So these points are to be joined by a smooth curve like this. So pre-sketch, and this is looking somewhat incomplete. So let us try to complete. If there is one more class interval after 40 to 50, so it has to be 50 to 60, then upper limit will be equal to 60. There are 0 observations, so 50 plus 0 will be 50. So less than cumulative frequency will be 50. As such, you can add so many class intervals later on also. Every time the less than cumulative frequency will be 50. So this way. Similarly, if you are trying to add one more previous to the first one, so that has to be minus 10 to 0. Upper limit is 0, and there are 0 observations. Less than cumulative frequency will be 0. So 0, 0. So that will be another point. If you go before that, minus 20 to minus 10, again minus 10, 0, so something like that. So it will be something like this. It will go like this. So you can understand from minus infinity to 0, it is the straight line. Similarly, from 50 onwards, it is a straight line. In between, from 0 to 50, the curve is increasing. So name of this curve is less than OZ curve. Less than OZ curve. It is either constant or increasing. So it is called as non-decreasing curve. And this is really beautiful. You can draw any line parallel to x or y axis, and from that you will be getting very much meaningful information. As soon as it touches, the line touches the graph, from that draw a perpendicular line, and accordingly you will be getting so many information with you. Now the next thing is that you have to find median graphically. So here less than cumulative frequencies along y-axis, so n by 2, that is, this is n by 2, that is 25, and from this draw a line parallel to this x-axis like this. As soon as it touches the curve, from that point try to draw a line parallel to y-axis. So it will be, if you are drawing this point, and the x coordinate, whatever the x coordinate, y coordinate is of course 0, this x coordinate will be the median. So this is median, and it is equal to 25. If you are making use of the graph paper, then definitely you will be getting it very close to the exact value. Otherwise, you may get 24.5 or even 25.3, something like that. If you are perfect on graph paper, then your value from the graph will be very, very close to the actual calculated value. So this is the thing. So as such, there is a concept of more than cumulative frequency also. More than cumulative frequency. So which is found from bottom to top. 40 to 50 is 6. Then 30 to 46 plus 8 is 14. Then 20 to 30. 14 plus 22 is equal to 36. 10 to 20. 36 plus 12 is equal to 48. And 48 plus 2 is equal to 50. So you can see that this 50, this 50, and this 50 is. These are the three equal figures. And how to conclude about more than cumulative frequencies? So you can understand 40 to 50 is the class interval, and more than cumulative frequency is 6, 30 to 40, 14, 20 to 30, 36, 10 to 20, 48, 0 to 10, 50. So how do you relate? Out of 50 observations, there are 6 observations which are larger than or equal to 40. 14 observations which are greater than or equal to 30. 36 observations greater than equal to 20, 48 observations greater than equal to 10, and out of 50, all the 50 observations are greater than equal to 0. And in this sense, more than cumulative frequency is related with the lower limit. And if we want to draw more than cumulative frequency curve, so for that you will be having lower limit on the x-axis and more than cumulative frequency on the y-axis, and let us see. So 0, 50, 0, 50, 10, 48, 0, 50. So let me choose something, another color. 0, 50, 10, 48, 20, 36, 20, 36, 30, 14, 30, 14, 46, 46, something like that, and we have to join this something like this. And again, you can understand 50, 0, and this will continue. So to the left of this, it will be constant. So it is constant and going below. So it is non-increasing, and this is more than OG curve, more than OG curve. Using more than OG curve also, you can find median graphically. So in that also, from y equal to n by 2, you have to draw a line parallel to x-axis, and as soon as it is touching to the curve, from that you draw a line parallel to y-axis, and the corresponding x-coordinate is going to be the median. This is the second. And one more thing, both less than as well as more than OG curves can be drawn on the same graph paper, and definitely a picture will be like this. So both the curves are going to intersect each other on only one occasion, and that point has x as well as y coordinate. So we can understand that the x coordinate will be nothing but median, whereas y coordinate is going to be capital N by 2. So logically, so median is the middlemost observation, or it is that value below and above which there are equal number of observations. So you can logically be sure that it is that value below and above which there are equal number of observations. So at that point, both the curves are going to intersect each other. So this is the thing. Now the thing is that before discussing merits and demerits of this median, let us try to explain the concept of percentile and so many things. Now here itself, I would like to talk about quartiles. So these are very important concepts, quartiles. We have discussed median. Median is a positional average. Then next is quartiles. So it is denoted by QI. Now how many quartiles must be there? You have to tell me. So I would like to tell you, before the ith quartile, there are 25 by 100 into I % of the total observations. I do not remember the formulae. The formulae are coming automatically. So you have to tell how many quartiles must be there. If I put I is equal to 1, so Q1, below Q1, there are 25 by 100, so I must say 25, 100 it should not be there. 25% of the total observations. So percent means we have to multiply by 100, so that 100 is gone. Below Q2, there are 50% of the total observations, and below Q3, there are 75% of the total observations. So as such, it is very much clear that there are, yes, how many quartiles are there? How many quartiles? Please tell. So 3/4. Yes, very good, Prathamesh. Thank you. There are 3/4, and it is very much logical that suppose if you are given a rope and you are asked to have 4 parts of that rope. So on how many occasions does it need to be cut? If you want 2 parts, then you will be cutting only once. If you want 3 parts, then you will be cutting 2 times. As such, if you want n+1 part, then you are going to cut on n occasion. So as such, there are 3/4, Q1, Q2, and Q3. Now you will be wondering what will be the formula of quartile. So first quartile. So in that case, you have to find the formula. You have to consider n by 4. N by 4 is equal to 12.5. So you have to find 12.5. First quartile class means class interval in which 12.5th observation light is 10 to 20. And after that Q1 is equal to L plus n by 4 minus Q, a capital F of k minus 1 upon small f k into h. This is going to be the formula. Similarly, for Q2, 2n by 4, and that will be 25. So you must have understood that the second quartile, that is Q2, is nothing but median. Median is also same as second quartile. And similarly, Q3. For Q3, you have to find 3 by 4 times n. So that will be something 37.5. And 37.5th observation line, the class interval 30 to 40. Formula of Q3 will be equal to something 30 plus 37.5 minus 36 divided by 8 into 10. This is going to be the formula Q3. Of course, Q1, Q2, Q3 can be found graphically also. Okay. So after this, let us try to understand the concept of deciles. So here, deciles. You have to tell me how many deciles should be there. These are denoted by DIs. So before the I decile, there are how many? I by 10% of the total observations. So we are moving towards a very excellent measure after this. You have to tell how many deciles must be there. There are deciles. Now see, D1. Before D1, there are 1 by 10. No, I think this 1 by 10 into. So 10 must be in numerator. 10 into I percent. So 10% of the total observations are there. before D1. Before D2, 20%, before D3, 30%, before D4, 40%, before D5, 50%, before D6, 60%, before D7, 70%, before D8, 80%, before D9, 90%. And as such, there are going to be 9 deciles. These 9 deciles divide the entire data into 10 equal parts. So if we try to plot, now what I want to say, suppose, yes, I am going to rub this, whatever has been taken, and here we'll be having a smooth graph 0, 10, 20, 30, so that you will be understanding this in a better way. So mid value is 5, frequency is 2, as such, this is 2, then 10 to 20, 12, somewhere here, 20 to 30, 22, then 30 to 48, 80 will be somewhere here, 40 to 56, so here, then we can 50 to 60, 55 is the mid value and 0 frequency, then minus 10 to 0, midpoint is minus 0.5. So this is the graph you can see. So this is, so I'm not perfect, but you can understand. This is called as frequency curve. This is frequency curve. If the consecutive points are joined by straight lines, then that is called as frequency polygon. But I am joining the consecutive points by smooth curve, so this is called as a frequency curve. So this is the frequency curve, and as such, 25. So here 50% observations are there and 50% observation, because this is median. This is median. Huh? Then as such, quartile. Quartile, if you find quartile, it will be something, it may be 80, because 25% observations here, 25% here. So Q1 will be here. Then Q3 might be somewhere here, because these are further 25%. Q3 value will be here. So Q1, Q2, Q3. So you can understand here, I have written this Q1. This Q1. These are 25% observations. Then these are further. So median is nothing but Q2. Then this is Q3. Before Q3, there are 75% of the total observations, and these are remaining 25% observations. So as such, so again I am going to erase this so that it will be again. Quickly, suppose we have some frequency or something like this. Okay, we have, and now how should be the 9 deciles? So you know this is median, and that is also same as second quartile, and that will be same as D5. And suppose these are 10% of the total observations, so this will be D1. These are another 10%, so this will be D2 value. Then D3 will be here, and D4 will be somewhere here, like that. So this will continue. Then D6, D5 is there, D6, D7, D8, D9 somewhere here. So there is a gap of 10%, 10% like that. So you can understand these are the 9 deciles. We divide the entire data into 10 equal parts, and there is a concept of, you have been hearing this so many times, percentiles. So how many percentiles must be there? So before ith percentile means pi, there are I% of the total observations. Total observations. So how many percentiles must be there? There are 99 percentiles. Now in this previous graph, you can see here. This D1 first decile is exactly same as P10. D2 is equal to P10V. So this might be P1, P2, P3, P4 like that. This is P9, P10 as such. Then this is P30 is D3, then P40 D4. Then median is same as second quartile is same as fifth decile is same as 50th percentile as such. This goes on, and 99. This will be P99. So as such, see, whenever there are standard examinations which are conducted, standard examinations such as GATE, GATE is the most repeated examination in engineering, or also it has huge importance, and the criteria is nothing but percentile. And from 2-3 years, the percentile concept has been introduced for after 12th, CET and JEE main score also, JEE main also. So you can understand. So what they are doing, they have enormous data. So there are lakhs of students appearing and for the CET examination, and their data, so much data is sorted first, and after that percentiles are drawn. So after that, as long as GATE is concerned, I want to tell you that the criteria, you will be appearing for GATE examination this time, and the body decides whether a top 15% might be the criteria. So top 15% means P85. They are finding P85. After the result is taken care of, the data is available, they are sorting and using software, they are finding P85 value. Means P85 is that value below which there are 85% of the total observations. Means this is cream. Above this there are 15% cream. So they said that this is the cutoff. This is the cutoff for open. So this P85. That means that if a student is scoring P85 or more than that, then we say that the student has cracked the GATE examination. If the score is less than P85, then the student has not cracked the examination. See friends, because of this percentile, the concept is that during every time the percentage of successful students remains the same, constant, maybe 15%, 15% every time. So they say that whatever may be the number of students, those may fluctuate during every year, but their top 15% will be cracking the examination every time. Okay. But what happens with our regular engineering examinations? Our college is affiliated to our Savitribai Phule Pune University, and in that, to pass a particular subject, suppose M3, the criteria is the student has to score at least 40% marks. So the criteria is different, and because of that, what is happening? There are again thousands of people who are appearing for M3 in computers to Savitribai Phule examination. Out of those so many students, number of students who have scored 40 marks or more divided by total number of students. So this is the percentage of students who have passed in M3, and during every year it changes because they have a constant criteria of 40%, and because of that the passing percentage changes every time. And in case of GATE and repeated examination, they have decided that yes, our target is the same. So top 15% are going to be considered, and that is the reason why their cutoff changes. But because of that, what happens? The cream, the percentage of cracking GATE examination students remain the same. So that is the big difference between the percentile and percentage. Okay. So I think with this I would like to stop now. It has been the time to take the attendance. So I hope that you have understood. Thanks a lot for being patient. I'm going to have screenshots, and then I'm going to put the attendance. So before that, let me stop